tonight, I wanted to watch 3 horror films. I have a 4th, like an extra. I also wanted to drink some beers. So I bought 4 beers and kind of matched them to a film. I'll put up a picture of all 4 beers with the film and above it. These are all Icelandic beers. They're almost all ales. Mostly just because I like ales. Also doing this tomorrow again with another 4 possible films and beers. It's October 28th, 2021. I think we'll just jump to the first movie and beer. So, first movie is David Cronenberg's Videodrome, which, if I remember correctly, is from 1983. It's one of his kind of very recognizable, technically early work, but it's a kind of absurd body horror that you can see in a lot of his older stuff, but not necessarily as much in his newer stuff. With that, we have this, which I don't know if you can see, but it's called Bikubudronningen, or the Beehive Queen, which is a honey soured ale. It's about 4%, and it's gorgeous. It's from Eyrberghus, which is an Icelandic brewery in Reykjavik. I have a glass because I wanted to be able to pour it out and stuff. Okay, that took longer than I expected, but look, it's pink! Okay, I can't smell right now. I think I have a little bit of a cold. It's really pink. Wait, I'm gonna just... This is gonna be kind of a similar video to the 33 horror films I watched in a month. Oh, but I'm gonna watch the horror film. I'm gonna record myself talking very quickly about what I think about it, and then I'll introduce the next one. I'm sorry I hit the glass on the mic. This is super big. It's good. I actually like it. Okay, but on to the film. I just watched Videodrome. Watching a David Cronenberg film is always fairly entertaining. They're always kind of weird and fun. And especially from that period, there's always some kind of surrealism going on. Which is definitely what Videodrome is. And Videodrome is kind of talking about the way we consume media and how we interact with it. And it's about a man who runs this small channel on television that shows softcore porn to murder and death. And he finds this channel why he thinks is a channel of basically just torture and murder. And he thinks this is a show, and when in reality it isn't actually a show. It's a red room, a snuff kind of thing. And he has no idea what's going on. He starts hallucinating and everything goes kind of crazy, and there's this weird... About his stomach, he has a slot for a video cassette, but it kind of looks like a vagina, and I'm not even kidding. If you've seen it, I'm not going to put a picture or anything because it would not get through, and my channel might be deleted if I did that. But I did write down 2 lines. These might be paraphrased. I just wrote them down while watching the film. I didn't pause or anything, so I might be misremembering something. But one line was, television is reality and reality is less than television, which I find very interesting. And then there was also something in the lines of public life on television is more important than private life in the flesh. And it's kind of what this film is. Like what the characters in the film are kind of telling you, that television is more important than life and television is reality. Well, like the life you're living isn't reality. Yeah. So it's an interesting thought. It's an interesting film. I don't have the year with me. I think it's from 1983. So what was happening in the world at the time in this sense was like video cassettes were being filming like a huge thing. There was a lot of changes going on in the film and television business, especially in it becoming more of a commodity and more of like a commercial business, like it is today. It's very much like the beginning of how it is today, like the action figures and the VHS tapes, which don't exist anymore, then turned to DVDs and then Blu-rays, and they're kind of falling out. But like streaming services and all of that we have today is like was at its beginning stages around that time. So it is very much like a fear of that time of like television like taking over your life and becoming more important than you're in reality, and it's an interesting thought. Second film is Hell House LLC, which is gonna be much spookier because Videodrome was a body horror. House LLC is a haunted house film. For that one, this is from Dokkan Brewery in Isafjord, which is in the Westfjords. And this is Dokkan, which is a pale ale. And Dokkan means the pier, basically. It's made by spring water and like, it's basically just a general pale ale, but from this tiny little brewery. Like most of Icelandic breweries are basically craft beer breweries. So most Icelandic beer is basically craft beer, unless you're going with like the big players, which are like a few. But so yeah, everything I'm gonna be drinking is basically a craft beer. Let's open this up and pour it. Right? This is fun. I like this. There it is. Oh, barely a taste of that. Yeah, this is very pale. This is like... So it's unfiltered. It hasn't been pasteurized. I mean, it's just a regular pale ale. Percentage 4.8. Let's get to it. I don't know what to say about it. It was alright. Like, it wasn't like the classic found footage. It's basically a mockumentary with found footage in it. So it's a mockumentary about this event that happened in this haunted house. Yes, they put up a haunted house in an abandoned hotel that had been abandoned for 20 years. There is some rumor about the hotel, which has never gone into fully. I mean, there are some things mentioned with that, but I feel like there's a much bigger story there than what you actually get. it was also a film that's like, it's an hour and a half long film, but I felt like it was 2 hours. It's also very one note. Like, it starts off interesting. The beginning is interesting and sets up a story in a very interesting way. And then when we get to the found footage stuff of the actual people that created the haunted house, then we very much just get into kind of a boring found footage kind of film. There are breaks in between that. I mean, it could have been much better. It was an interesting story, it was an interesting idea, and the ending did not do it justice at all. But I don't know, I've seen much better films that are found footage. It was kind of obviously not very heavily produced. Like, it has an indie, slightly amateurish feel to it. I've seen good found footage amateur horror films. This wasn't it. Like, I wouldn't say it's bad. They had effective scares, I would say. They also weren't like super heavy on the scares. Like, they spaced them out, and there were moments where you're like, what the fuck is, where you were literally just like, what's gonna happen? Somebody gonna attack somebody, and then nothing happened. But there was like a shadow in the background, and you're like, okay, there's something going on here. And like, there weren't really a lot of jump scares either. Like, it was very, the spooks in a haunted house were done very well. But the story was either too quick or too slow. And I don't feel like we ever truly get like the full background to it, because I don't feel like we go deep enough into the rumors about the abandoned hotel. Because the rumors were more than just the fact that a mom and her daughter went missing, and then a few months later the owner of the hotel hung himself. Like, those were the rumors apparently, but that's what happened. And they never went further into, like, were the rumors of somebody being involved in demonic, demonic seances, or like, there was nothing like that like came in, even though that was very obvious from the moment that you started watching the film that it was going to be something of that kind of nature. That was the reason for it. That's not really talked about at all in the film, which is weird in a film about something like that. And I kind of needed a little bit of it instead of just watching people hanging around for like half a film in a spooky house they don't really like. But I have decided that I am only doing 3 films. I am not doing my extra film. I started too late because I worked late. I didn't start watching anything until like midnight because there was stuff that I had to do. And it's almost 4 actually right now. It was 3:15 when I finished watching that Hell House. It's 3:40 now. So I'm just gonna move on to my last film. I'm not gonna do the extra film. My extra film was gonna be The Craft, which I know a lot of people love. I've never seen it. I've heard a lot about it, but I've never seen it. So that was gonna be my extra film. I'm too tired. It's 3:40. I don't want to watch 2 horror films like more tonight. I don't think the next one's gonna be like spooks like in this one. like jump scares and like that kind of stuff. But I've also heard it's like really good and I can't wait. I think this is gonna be more in the line of like The Shining, which is good because I love The Shining. But yeah, so this is gonna be The Lighthouse. And when I did my watching 33 horror films in a month video, Lighthouse was on that list. It was being shown on RIF, or Reykjavik International Film Festival, and I was gonna go see that. I just didn't have the time to, it turned out. And then it was gonna be in theatres in November that year, and then I didn't have time to do that either. So, gosh. I've been meaning to watch The Lighthouse for 2 years now. Now I found a reason, and then when I was sitting at work, thinking, what can I do? And I work at a liquor store, so of course, my thought was like, if I could pick a beer for The Lighthouse, what would it be? And this is the first one that came to mind. This is Dokkan, which is the same as the pale ale that I had before. This is Jupi, or The Deep. So it's honestly, first thing that came to mind. And I thought, I mean, you could pick literally anything from this brewery except for one which I don't have, which is called Dynjandi, and that's a specific waterfall in Iceland. So, yes. So this is a red ale with seaweed. It's the same as the other one. It's unpasteurized and unfiltered. It's a 4.6, so it's slightly less. And its best before date is Christmas Day. But it's just opening and pouring. Yes. Da, 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 da. Oh my god, this is longer. I didn't think I was going to talk so much about Hell House because, oops, in my mind, I had nothing to talk about because I just didn't think anything specific of it. I'm just kind of terrified. It's just kind of, it's a little that came out when I opened it. I just cracked it so I don't. Yep. So that's why I was terrified. It did not go as badly as I thought, but there's beer all over my little thing. Like, just. It's like completely different colour than the other one. It's interesting too because it's yellow when it comes out of here, but it's not really yellow in the glass. Yeah, I like this actually. I like it better than the pale ale. On to the last film, then I'll update you and I will maybe tell you what's on for tomorrow. The last film, The Lighthouse, with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, which actually I lived up to the hype. It was really good. I was so happy I watched it last. It was kind of what I thought it was going to be, but also not in no way was it what I thought it was going to be. But No, I had the right idea going in at least. Yeah, I think that. It's just a quality of filmmaking is it's so beyond what like how Hell House was. Just the production and everything. Everything was way more thought out. Also, the acting was better. Of course. Like how can it not be, really? Because in The Lighthouse, you have no clue what is real and what isn't. It's a clusterfuck, just incredible imagery and incredible acting, and just it seems kind of like an homage to like the old time. There's a lot of shots that reminded me very much of like 1920s films. there were some definite like 1920s frames. Like the introductory shot of both of them where you get like, this is a really long shot of the two of them literally just standing next to each other, looking right into the camera. And he's like, okay, this was what they did like very early on to introduce you to the character. Like, this is the character you're gonna watch. Pay attention to their face. Like, there was a shot right after that, and I was like, yep, that's a 1920s documentary shot. It very much reminded me of the work of one person, I can't remember what his name is, but he did Nanak of the North, as well as a film called Man of Iron, which is the most boring film I have ever seen. Yes. It's the most boring film I've ever seen. I haven't seen Nanak of the North, but yes. Yeah, but I also I knew I wanted to end with The Lighthouse, which is also why I wanted to do The Craft before The Lighthouse. I think it was also a good idea to actually not do The Craft because now it's 5:45. So tomorrow I kind of have a similar setup. I have a film I don't know anything about really. Like, what I know about it is very vague, and that's about it. Then I have a ghost film. Then I have a film that has stood the test of time, really. And I think it's probably gonna have a lot in common with The Lighthouse. It is also a film I want to end on. So if I do the extra film, it's gonna happen before. The extra film is a horror comedy, so that's the plan for tomorrow. Maybe if I don't do it now, I'll do it next week. But yeah, I'm getting really tired. So that's today's video. I'm hoping I can just edit it tomorrow, get it out, and then shoot the other thing. But I am not gonna promise anything. I've just been really busy. I've been tired and busy and not really using my time to the greatest extent. Oh yeah, I need to go to sleep. I need to wrap this up. So that was for today. These are things I want to try to. I have 2 videos that I want to do. Also shot around the same time, which was in January, by the way. I just have not had the time to edit. I've not had the time or energy to edit. I think that's really the thing. I know the light is ridiculous, but that's also because my television is on and it's just showing. It's like Google with just images. So sometimes it's really blue and sometimes it's not very blue. And now it went off. I wouldn't mind doing these things more often. And not just horror films, it can be literally anything. If you like this, please let me know. Comment. have ideas for me, that would be great. Yeah. Thank you. And I will see you later, I guess. Tomorrow. With the rest. So, bye.